Hey, what's up, guys? Just got done watching UFC 247, and these are just some unscripted thoughts about the Jones-Reyes fight. Before I start, I just want to say I scored it 48-47 Reyes, as the majority of observers did. Rounds 1 through 3, I gave to Reyes. I thought he clearly won them. Rounds 4 and 5, I gave to Jones. But I think Dominick Reyes clearly won that fight. And if you think that Shogun Rua got robbed against Lyoto Machida, their first fight, you cannot think that Reyes did not get robbed in this one. And the other point I want to bring up is just how terrible the commentary was, really, especially from Joe Rogan. Dominic was better, but Rogan was really, really insufferable tonight. So I'm just going to go round by round, tell you what I think happened, what I liked that Reyes did, why I think Reyes won. Reyes was doing good things in every round, even in the rounds that I thought Jones won. When Jones went low, Reyes countered high, and he caught Jones a number of times with good shots. Reyes started every round on the offensive. He was backing up Jones a lot. He hit Jones with a variety of strikes. He hit Jones with a lot of combos. In the last 2 rounds, he started throwing solo strikes. But in the first 3 rounds, he was throwing combinations and landing consistently. Reyes outstruck Jones in each one of those first 3 rounds. And Joe Rogan started talking about Reyes being tired in round 1 and would not shut up about it for the entire 25 minutes. And it was just a joke, really. You know, this is kind of a niche sport. It's not really for everybody. I think a lot of people who normally don't watch MMA were perhaps watching this fight because of Jones. Imagine what they think to see just a highway robbery like this and the commentary that isn't reflective at all of what you're actually seeing. Now, I think the first round could have been a 10-8 for Reyes. I mean, he outstruck Jones by a considerable margin. He was far more active than Jones. Jones was always on the retreat, and Reyes scored a knockdown. Round 2 was similarly dominant. He outstruck Jones. He was countering high whenever Jones went low, and he targeted Jones's legs too, which is something Santos did a lot against Jones. Reyes won that round. If I remember correctly, 2 judges gave Jones that second round, and that is a joke. Now, in round 3, Jones starts trying to wrestle with Reyes a little bit more. He shoots for a double leg, and this in itself is kind of strange. Jones usually doesn't go for leg takedowns. He prefers upper body takedowns from the clinch, but he goes for a double, and Reyes defends it beautifully. In fact, Reyes defends every single one of Jones's takedowns immaculately. Jones did not do anything from his takedowns. He did not establish any offense on the ground from his takedowns. Not a single strike, no advancing of position, no submission attempt, nothing close to a submission attempt. Reyes used the fence exceptionally well to retain his balance. And round 3, after Reyes, just shows a beautiful takedown defense. Rogan is talking about Reyes breathing heavy and his mouth open.
Reyes with the left hand of the body, breathing heavy, mouth open.
I'm sorry, Joe, this is a 5-round fight. They both slowed down, as is to be expected, and they were both tired. Reyes was not the only one who was tired, and yet Reyes was the only one that Rogan talked about being tired. Now, rounds 4 and 5, most people would say Jones won. Jones outstruck Reyes. Reyes slowed down. There's less combinations from Reyes and more single strikes. But even in these 2 rounds, Reyes was landing some nice counters. And he was still moving really well, and he was evading a lot of damage from Jones. And Jones missed a lot in these rounds. And Jones still couldn't score a takedown against Reyes in these rounds, who was supposedly exhausted and on the verge of death. Still showed some beautiful takedown defense. So yeah, I thought the decision was a joke. I thought the commentary was a joke. I feel bad for Reyes because he should have a belt right now, and he doesn't. I feel like our sport is a joke because money has taken precedence over merit. And I understand this is sports entertainment, and the goal of the promotion is to make money. But it's also competition, and there needs to be some semblance of fairness in competition. And nobody else in light heavyweight right now has the name recognition of Jones. And so I'm sure the UFC executives are more interested in setting up Jones with a super fight against Miocic or against Adesanya or whoever. Which, by the way, based on Jones's last 2 performances, I think we can say with much more confidence that Adesanya can really, really piece up Jon Jones. I mean, I've long held the belief that Adesanya is a serious threat to Jones, but after watching these last 2 fights, and this one in particular from Jon, oh yeah, Adesanya can murk Jones. That's a real possibility. It's a real possibility that we watch Adesanya piece up Jon Jones and make it look not even competitive. That's a possibility. I'm not saying that's what will happen. I'm just saying that's a possibility. He has the skill set to do it. And he is, I mean, let's put it this way. Jon Jones' weakness was always his boxing and his kickboxing. And his last 2 fights, in fact, really 3 of his last 4 fights have been almost all on the feet. I mean, Anthony Smith kept it on the feet, didn't do much with it, but he kept it on the feet. Santos kept it on the feet. Reyes kept it on the feet. Without his grappling, Jon Jones' aura of invincibility is just not there. He's still very durable. He's still very smart, crafty, but without being able to implement a grappling heavy game plan, there are guys who can beat him on the feet. We just saw Dominick Reyes do it. And no disrespect to Dominick Reyes, exceptional fighter, exceptional athlete. He hasn't been doing this very long. Israel Adesanya has 80 professional kickboxing bouts of experience, let alone his MMA experience. So Adesanya versus Jones is a fight. And at this point, I would give a significant edge to Adesanya. Of course, I could be wrong. Maybe Jones isn't as motivated because of the lack of big names to fight against right now. But that's what happens anytime Jones looks human, is that we make excuses. Against Gustafsson, we said he didn't train for that fight. Against Santos and Reyes, we say, oh, he's not motivated. At the end of the day, this is sport. Whatever the reasons are for his underwhelming performances, whether it was his opponent's skill, whether it was his own deficiencies, that's competition. And Jones did not win this fight. And there's a great point made by one of these big MMA Twitter accounts, UFC Obsessed, I think is her name, saying that his reach is not scary anymore. Fighters are finding him. They're landing shots on him, in spite of the disadvantage in reach. So yeah, those are my thoughts. Maybe you disagree. You probably agree, because everyone that I've seen on the internets is livid about this decision and is rightfully trashing the Texas State Athletic Commission.